like button. Did we hit the like button? We're supposed to hit the like button. Otherwise, people won't know that you like it. Oh, that's when I'm supposed to click the button. What's up, everybody? What's going on? How you doing out there in the world? I forgot to hit the microphone. Oh, and the microphone is on. Oh my God, it's on Monday. Monday. Oh, what's up, everybody? It's Monday. I'm freaking out. I'm having a freak out, dudes. I'm having a freak out, my dudes. What's going on? It's Monday. Things are going around and round and round and round. It is October 19th, 2020. Year 38 of the pandemic. Whilst we out here in the pandemic, getting fresh, getting froggy, catching ourselves a cold. Yeah, in my neck of the woods, we went through another coronavirus scare. I'm going to say coronavirus right at the beginning of the show here, so we get immediately demonetized by the robots, hosted by YouTube. And went through another coronavirus scare. I am, if I start coughing during the stream, it is not because I have the coronavirus. It's because I have a regular old virus, the regular old cold virus that's going around this time of year. So, yeah, I went and got tested. Test is negative. So we're good to go as far as mixing around with the human beings. I don't need to immediately quarantine and freak out and do all that kind of stuff. But, man, I got the sniffles. Man, I got the heaps and the creeps and the coughs and all that stuff that you would normally get with the everyday run-of-the-mill average old virus. But I have to admit, it's getting better. I do have to say that Friday I felt like total crap. We did the show on Friday, and I just felt really bad. I just was not feeling good. I had the aches and all that kind of stuff, and I just assumed it was because I was really exhausted from working, and I think I had slept with my mouth open. I don't know if anybody out there has ever experienced that before, but if you just, like, sleep with, like that all night, I mean, you wake up the next day feeling like you have the flu, and then it slowly but surely goes away. But for me, just felt sicker. Went in Saturday evening and got the coronavirus test to double check. No COVID-19 in my system, so we're good to go. Rocking and rolling. Living the dream. Although today, as an update, yesterday I felt better. Today I feel a little bit better than yesterday. But, man, I'm just not sleeping that well, all that kind of stuff. So I'm a little bit like, ugh. So if I do fade out and fall asleep during the stream, it's because I'm feeling a nap, dudes. I'm feeling a naps, my dudes. But I'm not going to take a nap during the show because, man, are we excited. Are you guys excited? Have you Hulk smashed the like button? We're supposed to smash the like button. We're supposed to smash a big, sloppy, wet kiss on the like button. I think that's what we're supposed to do. I'm not sure. But thank you very much for everyone hitting the like button, because then we know the likes outshine the dislikes. I noticed earlier we already had multiple dislikes on the stream. I was like, oh, damn, I'm pissing people off left and right. And people would wonder, hey, man, why are you pissing off people left and right? And I think, honestly, the reality is we're going through some growing pains around here. A lot of people have a tendency to get super polarized these days because of the geopolitical climate that's going on in the world. And a lot of people like to turn their back on it and say, hey, man, I'm only here to ever talk about stuff having to do with an aquarium. And that's great. I appreciate people like that. This might not be the show for you. Now, the edited stuff, that might be for you. The edited content might be for you because you're like, oh, hey, this guy just talked about this plant, how he was dealing with it, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. So the reality is, if the edited content is probably for you, maybe the live stream isn't for you, because I like to talk about things that are contextual with what's going on in the world of fish keeping, but also just in the world. So full disclaimer, this live show, that's what it's all about. And if you don't like that, no one's bending your arm. I know I'm not bending anybody's arm to be here. I don't even force Vicky Toria to be here, my lovely spouse, my beautiful, lovely, one of my favorite people in the whole wide world, Vicky Toria. I don't even force her to be here. I think it would be weird to be like, watch my live streams all the time. You deal with me 400 hours out of the week. Why don't you watch my show? I'm butthurt, So we don't even force my spouse to be here. You know what I mean? Every once in a while she will pop in with the baby or something like that. But, yeah, So, hey, that's what's up. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. The topic I wanted to slightly focus on today at the beginning of the show is quarantining your fish. Why do you do it? What's the deal? Why is that something that is so important? I think it's very important. But I think it is, I think there are a few issues that may or may not be causing some problems in the first world consumerism attitude towards what it is that you're doing. So you go out, you find some fish, you really want to keep them. Have you done the research of where they're supposed to be? Let's just assume that you have. I know, as well as probably everybody watching, we've all been through that impulse buy of like, man, I know what's up with tetras. These tetras are really cool. I'm going to buy them. I'm going to get home. And then whoopsie doopsie, I bought Congo tetras or something along these lines. I'm not saying specifically, but we've all been there. And you go, oh crap, these are going to grow into little monsters. I'm going to have to set up a tank for these, blah, blah, blah. We've all done that. To act holier than thou is just weird, in my opinion. We've all made that mistake. We've been out at stores. We saw something we really liked. We wanted to keep it. This might even have been before you'd be able to look up stuff on your phone. Maybe it was 20 years ago. We've all done that. But the reality is we should all have some kind of quarantine tank set up. I currently have a quarantine tank that's in my driveway. It's literally just an overturned tank. It's not even in my fish room because I'm like, why would I have this on a shelf? This stupid tank doesn't even need to be in here. It's waterproof, my dudes. It's an acrylic tank. It's waterproof. It's not going to be damaged by getting some rain on it, if you know what I'm saying. It's like sitting out in my driveway, dude. I got it upside down out there. It's actually sitting behind an old, what's called a trash burner, which is just one of those little indoor fireplace things. I mean, I can't think of what the other name for it is, but we call it a trash burner up here in the West. I don't know what. There's probably like a really good technical name for it, but I don't know what the hell it's supposed to be called. That's going to be gifted away. I'm waiting for the guy to come get it. I mean, the damn thing's like 500 pounds of cast iron and all that, so it's not like just come grab it and throw it in your Honda Civic or something, you know what I mean? So we're waiting on it to get out of there, but that's where it's sitting outside. And the reason for that, there's really no use for it. It shouldn't have water in it. It shouldn't be running. Now, I do have the filter and the heater and the little light that I put over it. Those are all inside. They're sitting on a shelf. They're poorly organized, but organized nonetheless in there, just ready to go. And I do have the biomedia for that filter, which is actually just one of these. And let me grab a link. So in case anybody's like, I don't know what he's talking about. We legit just have a aqua clear filter sitting on it. My favorite AC 20 filter. Let's find that real quick. This is going to be a pretty easy. Nope, that's not an easy search. Let's see. It's literally bringing up furnace filters and stuff. Oh lordy. Aqua Clear 20. There we go. Let me had to go find it for you real quick. Here's one on Amazon. How about we push this button? Oh, 1-day delivery off of Amazon. By the way, as much as I get angry with Amazon and their politics and stuff, we are an Amazon affiliate, so I do promote Amazon stuff, because if you go there and buy stuff, we get the advertising kickback, which is not a significant amount. It's like 0.5%. So if people think I'm getting rich off of it, literally last month was $68 or something like that. People weren't buying that much stuff last month. I think they were waiting for Prime Day. But either way, we don't make $1 billion off of it. But if it's something you want to do and it doesn't cost you anything, there you go. Speaking of costing anything and whatnot, our membership has dropped to 100,000, and then we have to go back and delete all of the numbers, because we are back to double digits from triple digits, which sucks. Hopefully people want to become a member. If not, hey, eventually we'll get to 1. When we get to 1 member, I'm going to give away the show. I'm going to give it to somebody else. I'm going to have somebody else do it. So I think that's a way that people could either support or not support, and just let me know in a non-verbal fashion. Like, if you don't want to be a member because you don't like the show and you don't like me anymore, we'll just get these YouTube members right here down to 1, and then whoever's the last one, I'll send the show off to them, and they can take it from there. That's my plan right now, and it seems like a weird plan. I didn't come up with it. I legitimately, one of my favorite comedians of all time, Will Sasso, came up with it. And I think I'm just going to follow in his footsteps, because his footsteps are plenty awesome. And I wouldn't mind following a little bit in his footsteps. Paratrue Aquatics says, to be fair, I'm not a member because I'm poor. Yeah, dude, it's not a guilt trip on anybody. I'm straight up just having fun with it, dudes. I appreciate that people want to be members, people that want to be Patreons and stuff like that. 100% appreciate it. And I fully, just to those people out there that are like, I'm poor, I personally lived in my truck. I lived out of my pickup truck with my dog for like a month and a half, like 6 weeks, something like that, before I was able to get housing again. So I understand being poor, dudes. It's not like I'm saying anything. I am 100% in favor of social programs and stuff like that can hopefully help poor people just incrementally move up the ladder into middle class, man. That's my goal. I want this big middle class section. That's what I want. I want that big giant middle class section, and then just these people at the top, I'm not worried about them. They're fine. I don't care. But I want that big, giant middle class. That's what I want back. It's like this now, and I want it like this. That's what I want. I want the FDR New Deal type policies to come back. That's what I want. That's what I'm a big fan of. Let me see if I got one here. I still got one, I think. Let me check. Is this the... No, that's a song. Don't click that button. It'll be a loud song. Here we go, right here. Boom. The Civilian Conservation Corps. This is one that I'm a gigantic fan of, my guys. I mean, are we talking not only like environmental awareness, but environmental forestry training for people with no skill set? Not only that, but you're also like giving a wage, work, something to do, some training, an opportunity to like, oh, I did 6 months in the Civilian Conservation Corps. I'm going to get some access to going to some college classes about forestry or something like that. Oh, mind blown, dude. Mind blown. We need more people to be managing our forests, my dude. I think we do. and this is just a perfect example of like one of the many programs that I think that we should be putting in place. But let's not get sidetracked from our quarantine tanks, because it's very easy for me to get sidetracked from quarantine tanks because I'm like, dude, that's my normal thing. Anyhow, back to quarantine tanks. Get yourself an aqua clear filter. Get yourself like an acrylic tank that you don't have to worry about the seals going bad or anything like that. Store it away somewhere. A heater would be good too. And I do have a little light, but it's nothing fancy. There's nothing fancy about this light. It's not a plant growing light. It's not a greenhouse light. It's not anything like that. It's just a desk lamp. It's just like one of the little waterproof desk lamp deal. It's just a waterproof desk lamp. Secret History is here. What's up, my dude? Alex, how you doing? You missed out on my camera, dude. I sold it today. I'm very excited. I finally sold that camera. You guys, I sold the camera, and I did not get murdered, but it's good to see you, Alex. He says, I'm not a member because you have not reviewed the Zeiss blender. The Zeiss blender is, I'm sure I will review it at some day. I don't know. It's not really on my list of things to do at this point. I mentioned it to Corey, and I talked about it at one point in time that they were making changes to the brine shrimp hatchery, and I was like, that's awesome. That's totally rad. I like, dude, people need to do stuff like that. And he's like, yeah. And then they did. And then they ordered them. And then they're selling them to people. As far as I know, they work pretty darn well, because the first one they got didn't work 100%. So they made the changes, and then now it works 100%, in their opinion. And I'm like, cool. I don't normally run a brine shrimp hatchery myself. I generally do mosquito larvae, which, full disclosure, I don't really ever show people my mosquito larvae stuff because it's more nature than anything. I don't really have to deal with anything on it, but at some point in time, I'll show you guys how to put a bucket of water with some leaves in it outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, mosquito larvae, I don't have to monitor or do anything about it. I just legit go out and net them out of a dirty old bucket. And when they get to the point where they're up at the top of the water and starting to hatch and fly away and turn into mosquitoes, I dump them out into the ground, and then I refill it with water again, dude. I wish it was like a super complicated thing. So to me, it's not. Maybe at some point in time, I'll show you guys. I'll make like a video that's like 31 seconds long, where it's just like, hey, welcome to the video where we net some mosquitoes out of the bucket. Oh, there they are. Let me throw them in there. There's the fish eating them. And oh, crap, they're about to turn into flying buzzards that suck blood. And then I just go, badoosh, and I kick it over with my foot, and then I fill it back up with water, and I go, you just wait a little while. And you'll get more. Excuse me, hold on. Yeah, I got that little cough now. I got that cough now because it's like the cold's working its way out of my body, and I have to cough. And I'm sorry, dude. I didn't have to cough all day yesterday or the day before or the day before that. And then now it's like working its way to a cough, and then it's going to disappear. Which just happened to land on Monday. I'm sorry. Very sorry. Anyhow, so we are on with the quarantine tank. So I got my quarantine tank. I got it outside. Why do I have a quarantine tank? It's because when I bring something into my fish room, whether it be a puffer fish, a tetra fish, or something like that, if I'm going to put it into a tank, especially an established tank, with 100% with other fish, I want to put those fish into a quarantine tank to make sure that they don't bring in a disease like the coronavirus, right, into where existing fish are. So just recently, I brought some fish in, some guppies, and I put them into a tank. I did not quarantine them. And do you want to know why I didn't quarantine them? There's no other fish in that tank. I had removed all of the fish from that tank. Now, all that was in there was some snails, some miscellaneous shrimp that just happened to be in there, and plants and substrate, biomedia, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So I added that whole colony of fish. I got them from a local breeder, Alyssa, if she's in the chat. By the way, she'll be monitoring your nasty, nasty comments, okay? If y'all make some nasty comments, you got to watch out. Pamela, Alyssa, Gerald, who else is here? I don't know how many monitors we got in today, but watch out. There's enough motivated monitors watching your every step of the way. But I got all those fish from Alyssa. I introduced them to the tank. If they had a disease, they would have already had given it all to themselves. And they would have already been that. They would just be passing it on to each other, which they already have put in there. Hold on, let me comment here real quick. Okay, poop. I'm gonna put a poop in there. Poopity poop. Poopity poop. Poopity poop. Let me see. Poopy pie cake. There we go. Poopity pie cake. Ha! Poopity pie cake coming at you. Anyhow, so all those fish went into that tank because we knew that those fish were going to go into that tank. They were just going to exist in that tank. There wasn't going to be any introduction of other fish and whatnot if we were going to be spreading around a disease or anything like that. There wasn't really any need to medicate. We weren't just going to medicate just for the sake of medicating, right? And the parallel to that is if you go to the doctor, they don't typically just say, oh, hey, you're here at the doctor's office. Take this medication. I'm like, what? Hold on. Why am I taking medications? I'm just here because my back hurts a little bit. You know, like, well, just take these meds and a whole bunch of them, a full spectrum of medications, right? So there wasn't a purpose for the quarantine tank in that application specifically, because if those fish already had a disease, they were going to bring it into the tank. It was going to happen. So I brought them all in. I gave them the best environment that I possibly can. Good food, good water quality, water changes, all that is happening in that tank. And that's basically what's going on, is that I'm going to bring them, introduce them into that tank. And if something happens, in the aquarium, right, where there happens to show sign of something like ick or whatever that could have, or a fungus or something like that, I'm going to treat the whole tank because I would have had to treat that whole colony and not any of the existing fish. That's the main function of a quarantine as far as I'm concerned, right? So on the base application that you're bringing in shipped-in fish that aren't local and stuff like that, you are most likely going to have to treat those fish when they come in and land, more often than not, because they're wild-caught fish, so they're going from a big, gigantic open environment to a tiny closed environment that's not as stable as their previous. They've likely been netted, put into a crappy tank, netted out of that tank, put into a bag, shipped on an airplane, taken out of that bag, put into a crappy tank, put into another bag, taken to a store, put into a tank that may or may, you know what I'm saying? Like, these fish have been through a lot to get to you. So you're looking at a fish that has been running marathons, losing sleep, not eating right, all that kind of stuff for likely the past week or 2 weeks or something like that, which the exact same thing would happen to a human. That is the exact same thing that would happen to a fish. You succumb to the potential issues that you already have, whether it be bacterial or whether it be fungal or it be a virus or, all of the many afflictions that any living creature can come up with. So the main thing that I would say is in those instances, you want to A, give good water quality, B, give good food, and C, give just some broad spectrum fungus, bacterial, and viral medications, which is pretty much just the aquarium co-op trio, whatever the hell they happen to be right now. It's an ever-changing trio. So I don't want to say the wrong trio and have it be that, but if you spin over to Aquarium Co-op, you'll be able to check it out and go like, oh, there's the three that you could go ahead and treat. Now, that's because those fish have been through a lot, and you already know that they've been through a lot because that's how the business works. Someone goes, catches wild fish, they put it in a bag, they sell it to a wholesaler, the wholesaler sells it to a store, and more often than not, That's the same application that happens when you're ordering them online. And so you know that those fish are going to definitely be a lot. So I want to correlate this a little bit to like when you go to the doctor's office. Let me bring it back to that for a second. The first line of questioning that you would typically get from a good doctor, right? I'm not saying all doctors are good. I'm saying that most doctors are good, and if it happens to be a good doctor and you go in and you say you're sick, they're generally going to ask you a bunch of questions about your day-to-day because they either want to improve your diet, improve your sleep, maybe your exercise, this, that, and the other thing, along with also treating whatever it is that could be happening. Like maybe you're eating cake 3 times a day, so you're not dead, but that's just a terribly unhealthy diet. Maybe you're sleeping 3 hours a night because all you eat is cake, and now you can't sleep anymore. Maybe you're not exercising at all, right? That's the same parallel line of questioning that you would want to take into consideration for any of the critters that you have in your aquariums, is that you want to improve their diet, improve their environment, and also improve the the day-to-day interaction that they're having so that they can live a healthier environment. It's one of the funny things that we, Corey and I, encountered while going to all these places in Europe. It's like, hey, what are you guys doing for this, that, and the other thing? And consistently, it was always like good water, monitoring, good food, monitoring, good water, monitoring, good food, monitoring. Right? It was just that over and over again was basically what it was. It's like, as long as we're feeding good quality food and we're providing them with really nice, the really nice, good, clean water for their environment, most of these fish are just not going to have diseases or anything like that. And it was kind of like, okay. Coming from the States, we realized that, like, the constant pushing of this capitalist, like, you must consume, you must consume, you must consume. It's like, I hear it from a lot of people that, like, you have to medicate. Whereas we're talking about some of the top importers and fish suppliers, I don't know if I could say in the world, but like all of Europe, right? Were some of them that we went to. And the reality is, like, water quality and food were the main thing that they really cared about. That was it. So that's really like kind of the parallels that started to connect in my mind, is going like, yeah, how do I convey that to people? Like, how do I convey that to people so it makes sense to them? In the live stream format, it makes no sense because I take all these little sidebars and stuff like that. And at some point, I will turn this kind of script situation that I have going on here into a cohesive script that makes sense. But currently right now, it's just like a whole bunch of wacky notes. So, yeah. Okay. But I have to give some shout-outs here because we have 2 illustrious new members today, which are taking us further from the goal of 1 member. Because when we hit 1 member, I'm telling you guys, when I hit 1 member, we're going to just give away this show. I'm going to give it away, and that's how it's going to go. So whoever's last is going to get it. But we went up to 100 thanks to Clint McLaughlin. Thank you very much, Clint. I don't think Clint's ever been a member before. I don't believe so. Excuse me. Yeah, thank you very much for coming up and becoming a member. And Pipex coming a member now too. All right. Which is unfortunate. Now we're up to 101. Now we got to piss off 100 people. Come on. Punchy Paint says the like button needs some love, which I don't even know, man. I tell people to hit the like button. I don't even know what it does. I know that, like, the YouTube weirdo, like, robot machines want us to hit the like button, but does it apply to anything? Hold on, I'm going to hit the mute button here. I might sneeze. I had a sneeze. That was wild. You guys see me, like, fly off camera and sneeze and then come back? That was next level, dude. Nothing like sneezing into a mask either, I got to tell you that. 100%. 100% hilarity. let me give some shout-outs to some people in the chat and answer some questions in the chat after rambling on here for upwards of too long. Let's see. Alyssa was third. I forget who was second. My stupid chat. Whenever I reopen the chat window, it like eliminates a bunch of it. But I know Frank was first, and I could see Alyssa's comments there. I don't know who was second, and I'm sorry for not saying whoever was second because it wasn't there. It's my bad. Myrtle Singh was fourth. Jay's Crazy Obsessions was fifth. Wesley's Fish Club was sixth. Jake D663 was seventh. Phil Emerson, 8th. Emma Pickery, 9er, and John McKenzie rounding out the top 10. So it's a mysterious number 2. I don't know who the mysterious number 2 was, but let's say what's up to Amcluescent. Phil Emerson, Sci-Fi Swordsman, John McKenzie, which I already said hi to you guys. Grassy Peak, Daniel Castro, hi from Costa Rica. What's up, Costa Rica? What are you doing? Jay's Crazy Obsessions is here. Rico Stan, Chris John, Chevy Fish, Glass City Fish Witch, who I thought was a member. What happened? Oh, man. We're just losing these members left and right. But that's what we got to do. That's what we got to do so we can get down to 1, and then I can just give the show away. You know what I'm saying? We can just pass it on. We can pass it on to the next person. Big D Smoke is here saying what's up. A bunch of people saying what's up. What's going on? Are people late to the show? Is that what's happening? That's all right. Phil Emerson says Frank D is still in your attic. I mean, he moved out of the attic, but I think he moved back to the neighborhood. I think he's in somebody else's attic, as far as I can tell. But he's back in the neighborhood at least. You know, being able to be quick draw McGraw like that, you know, and being first, being first. You know, sometimes you got to protect your neck and make sure that you're first to the chat if you want to hold the title. You know what I'm saying? I know it's weird. Like a whole bunch of people just came storming in saying what's up. Not sure what's happening because our viewership didn't go up. I don't know. We're a bunch of people just here and, like, asleep at the wheel. Hey, don't be asleep at the wheel, guys. Well, or be asleep at the wheel. I don't know. Janice Lumberg just woke up from a nap. Big D Smoke, did you just wake up from a nap, too? Okay, people are talking about having taken naps. Okay, maybe you guys were napping. I don't know. I don't know, dudes. I don't know. Oh, somebody's raiding. Okay, somebody sent over a raid. All right. Well, that's cool. I don't know who it was. Nobody said who it was. Dead Fred is here saying good evening. Good to see you. I don't know. Get at least 3. I get at least 3 dislikes every stream. Every time I stream. Yeah, it's a reality, dude. People like hit the dislike. I don't know. It's just funny. Oh, Terry's Tropical was eating chili. That's good. Power Nap, Anubius Garden, and I like it. I wonder if Anubius Garden has any videos. That sounds like a, wait, why can't I view your channel? I used to be able to view your channel from the 3 buttons here. Oh, crap. YouTube changed the buttons. Let's see. Participants. Anubius Garden. There we go. I want to go to your channel. All right, I have to look it up manually. Let's go take a look. Take a look. It's in a book. In a whole world with you. Let's see. Man, I'm like number 2 on the YouTube or on Google search for Anubius Garden. That's weird. Let's see. Let's go like this. Copy. Let's go over to YouTube's. Oh no, I clicked the channel dashboard. Let me tell you something. Channel dashboard's completely useless for what we're trying to do here, dude. I got to put it up in the old jammer. Paste. Anubius Garden. Oh, there we go. 1 video. Ooh, but it's only from a month ago. Okay, cool. I'm going to watch this later. I'm going to definitely check this out. Copy. Oh my gosh, do you have any subscribers? Oh my God. It looks like you says you have no subscribers. I'm subscribing to you first. First! I'm turning on all notifications too. Look at this. There we go. All right. I did it. Anubius Garden, I'm going to be watching your videos, dude. Paste. All right. That's Anubius Garden's YouTube channel. All right. There we go. All right. I'm going to check it out. I'm going to check out this video after the stream. I hope it's good, dude. I hope it's good. I'm going to check it out. Oh, maybe you're just like... It would be funny if I actually got... if I got somebody's channel that was them just screaming in the background. It would be buck wild. I haven't seen it happen yet. Glass City Fish Witch, I'm a patron member. Still giving all the love, but at a higher percentage. Oh, nice, Glass City. Okay, cool. Thanks. Thank you so much. It's hard for me to keep track of both groups. YouTube highlights everybody in the chat, so I know who's a member or whatnot, and I thought for whatever reason your name was in green for a while. But that's right, Glass City. Let me see. Yeah, Glass City is... Yeah, that's right. You're over here on Patreon. Okay, I'm sorry. My apologies. My apologies, dude. Sometimes I get confused. And, you know, that's how life goes sometimes. Sometimes we out here being confused. Joel, did you know all the video? Did you know I make videos? Are you one of my subs? Will you be my mommy? No, I won't be your mommy. And I don't know if I'm subscribed to you. I don't know if I'm subscribed to you. I don't know. Maybe. It's possible. I don't know. It could happen. It could happen. I don't know. But I did sell the camera today, finally. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I know everyone's clapping. Everyone's clapping with their excitement. I know that no one actually cares, but I do care that it happened. If anybody knows what it's like to sell something like a camera on Facebook Marketplace, welcome to one of the more annoying situations I have ever been involved in my life. Totally insane. Total insanity. Selling a camera on Facebook. Dude. Blowing my mind. Blowing my mind. Making me lose my mind. So many people that want to buy a camera that just apparently are scam artists, which, okay, I get it. I understand, like, navigating the minefield of people that are doing the scam thing. Like, I get it. I get it. I understand there are criminals in the world trying to do criminal action. But man, just a lot of irritating people, I gotta tell you. Like, just really exceptionally irritating people, which I already might be irritated by human beings. It's true. So I might already have that going on. That might already be happening in my life, you know what I'm saying? So I might already be at like a 85, you know? I might already be on at an 85, dude. I might be at a 90, who knows? And then it's easy just to be like, oh, God, this person's irritating. Oh, I'm at 100 now. Oh, I'm irritated. My irritation level is beyond the beyond. You know what I mean? Like, I could be losing my giddy gip. I could be losing my, everlasting patience. You know, I could be losing it sometimes and just be like, oh, you're so bugging me, human being, right now. Like, yeah, that could happen. I admit it. I can be testy. I can be grouchy. I got big, giant Bert eyebrows. You know what I'm saying? Like, Ernie seems to have the skinny eyebrows, but the Bert, right? Bert of Bert and Ernie. Which one is Ernie's like the short one and Bert's the tall one, right? Bert and Ernie are two Muppets that don't stand on the other side. Which one is Bert and which one is Ernie? Ernie had his rubber ducky. Okay, good. I got this right. Yeah, I have the Bert eyebrows. You know what I'm saying? From Bert and Ernie. You know what I mean? Sesame Street. And he's got, you know, he's always been kind of cranky. You know what I mean? Like, he's been legit the whole time, been the stick in the mud. So now people just naturally associate giant eyebrows with stick in the mud, folks. And I gotta tell you, I ain't no stick in the mud, but I certainly don't want to answer silly questions with strangers on the internet. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. You guys get what I'm talking about. I don't have a rubber ducky, but we do have Paulette C. Oh, Lord. Our membership drive is out of control. We're headed the wrong direction. I'm not going to be able to give away this show. I mean, I think, thank you, Paulette. I think it's Paulette. I'm just going to say Paulette. I hope it's Paulette. I don't know. It's a hard one to read for me. It's, So maybe you can spell it out for me a little bit better in the chat. I know how it is when people are like, they're trying to put their name together on the internet, and it's like, that one's not available, that one's not available, that one's not available. I get it. It's hard to put together, so I don't want to make sure that I say it right, so just let me know. But thank you very much for becoming a member. We don't have to end up giving away the show today. We're at 102. When we get down to one member, I'm giving away the show. That's how it's going to go. That's just how it's going to go down. I got to admit 100% that that is Will Sasso's idea. And I'm just running with it, you know what I mean? It seems like we dropped the show. The show might not be live anymore. I don't know. We went over just way too many viewership, and the stream settings dropped down to 0. I don't know. Mike Kinsis says, not triggered here. That honeycomb with sunflower picture in the background is so dope. Dude, I got to tell you, it is dope. It's super awesome. Let me find Jody's website for you. Jody. Shoot. I don't know what. Crap. I can't. You know what? It was going to take me like way too long to try and look that up. But it is a local artist friend of mine that makes them. They're awesome. Fantastic. I have no idea what the price point is for you regular people. I don't know. So I don't want to say. But you can either find prints or whatnot. I just got to figure out how could I look that up real quick? Oh, I know how I could look that up. It's going to bug me, you know what I mean? So let me give it a shot here and see if I can't come up with it. Of course, Messenger doesn't open now. Let's see. There we go. So it's my friend Jody, and I don't want to. Oh, here we go. You can actually buy a print of this. I don't get any kind of kickback or anything like that. Let me go to this one. Yeah. So she has prints of this one and this one up on her Etsy. It's a I don't want to say, I'm going to say this wrong. A Jicklee print? I don't know how to say that. I really should. Let's do search and let's see how we say it.
Giclée.
Giclée. Oh, God, it's French.
Giclée.
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 Giclée. Okay, I'm going to be better at it in the future. Maybe. It's possible. So let me get the Etsy page for you. You can definitely find the contact information and all that kind of stuff right on there. There's the link in the chat. If you guys are super stoked by these awesome mandalas that are behind me, you could buy a print of it. And I'm sure you could buy even a bigger one. You know what I mean? If you want. And I don't get any kickback or anything like that from it, so don't think that you're like giving me a bunch of dough or I'm trying to sell you on something or whatever. It's legit like, just, hey, that's a buddy of mine. She made these. These are the originals. You can buy a print if you want. So pretty reasonable, I think. I mean, they're like super high res, like fancy thick paper prints, you know what I mean? And I think they have a thing. Giclée. Yeah, that's how you say it. It must be French. French. Fritalian. I believe it's typed like this. Giclée. Yeah. Giclée. Yeah. Great space bees. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So, yeah, it's all about it. Grassy Peaks, his daughter wants to go kayaking. See y'all. Oh, man, I want to go kayaking, too. Why can't I go? Us mere mortals must pay more. I mean, I know how much I paid for them. It's not how much it would cost to get a commission. It definitely was less than it would have been. The friend pricing, the good friend pricing, by the way. This is like somebody that I've known since we were like little kids. You know what I mean? Like little Tykey McTikertons, like little tiny people before we had jobs or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let's see. We were up to 800,000 viewers and 40 likes. That seems weird. Seems like a low number. So I guess people say we're supposed to hit the like button. I don't know. I'd rather people hit the membership button unless that is a financial thing for you, then don't. But, I guess if you want to hit the like. But hit the dislike, too. That's free also. You can hit that, too. M. Cluescent said, who said that? Google pronunciation. Google pronounce. The robots. Robots and machines generally give me a good idea on how to pronounce certain things that I'm like, hey, I don't know how to say that out loud. I've only read it 9 million times, but I've never thought about saying it out loud or attempted it. Alex from New York, 2 men living together, never had girls over, always arguing with each other. Nobody had to confirm anything for me. What's that? I'm from New York. What, did they ever actually confirm Bert and Ernie were gay? I feel like they made it clear, like, way back. I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know. I have no idea. And, I mean, it would change nothing for me. That's the thing. It would change nothing for me. Let me see. Bert and Ernie, gay couple? I don't know. Bert and Ernie are a gay couple. Sesame Street writer claims. Let's see here. Sesame Street puppets Bert and Ernie are a couple. According to a former writer for the show, an exclusive interview with the blog Queerty, Mark Saltzman said he felt that when he was writing Bert and Ernie, he was writing them as a couple and basing their interactions on his own experiences. I always felt that they were without a huge agenda. When I was writing Bert and Ernie, they were... Saltzman told Cordy, I didn't have any other way to contextualize them. The other thing was, more than one person referred to Arnie and I as Bert and Ernie. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I do remember some hinting of this. Like, I think some people were talking about it, and I legit was just like, who gives a rat's ass? Why even bother, like, finding out the orientation of some kids show? Like, is there any question on, like, whether or not Sesame Street is appropriate for children? I've watched a lot of children's programming in the last 2 years because of this human being right here, this tiny one right up here in the corner. And I will say Sesame Street has never had anything that I thought was like, what? That's questionable. Every Sesame Street episode has seemed to be a solid children's programming show. Although I have seen lots of other shows that had really questionable stuff happening in them. I'm not going to say any specifically because that doesn't really matter when it comes down to what I'm talking about. But at Sesame Street, like, who cares? Like, who cares what their orientation is? Like, why would that be on anybody's mind of, like, what the hell was going on? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense unless you're somebody who's involved in identity politics, which identity politics make no sense to me in the context of how conservatives talk about it, because it seems to me that, like, conservatives are the ones that bring it up all the time. And I am like, what? Huh? Who gives? Who gives a good damn about whatever it is that you're talking about, dude? I don't. Why would I wonder about some imaginary puppets orientation or like who's occupying their time with this? I mean, I'm legit occupying my time talking to you guys about it for a minute. But I'm legit like, who was it that conjured up that this mattered? Like, who was like, we really got to address this? Oh, I don't know. It's just nonsense. You know what I mean? It's just pure nonsense. It's the same thing. All the arguments with the transgenders using bathrooms and stuff. I legit got into arguments with contractors that were like, who's going to pay for these bathrooms? And I'm like, what bathrooms are you talking about? Like, whoever's going to use it bathroom, you build a room with a toilet and a urinal and a sink, a paper towel dispenser, a soap dispenser, a vent, a light switch. The walls are waterproofed, flooring. You put a door on it, and then you F off. Like, who cares? What do you mean, who pays for it? The building, when you build it, it's a bathroom. You go in there, and you either pee or poop, or both, or a sassy combination of the two. I don't know. It's just, like, super weird, you know? I don't know. The whole thing just seems weird to me. I miss Paw Patrol. It was Little Bill and Oswald when my son was little. As far as I know from Dax Shepard, like, Paw Patrol is going to be an issue. Dax Shepard has brought it up a little bit recently. If you guys are familiar with Dax Shepard, I am, not only because I've appreciated his comedy over the year. Do I think he hits a grand slam every time he opens up his mouth? No, and neither do I. I feel like he's a regular guy who does comedy, he does movies, he does stuff like that. He seems like a very approachable person. Also, he's somebody who is sober and recently came out expressing his regret about a relapse. So his clock has started over, which is, I hate to, I don't ever want to talk poorly about somebody else's sobriety or somebody else's recovery. So I'm not trying to say this in a negative way. I'm trying to say this in an empathetic way, that I'm like, it's sad that he had to restart, that he went back to using for a while. It sounded like he had a surgery, and he just slipped right back into some old behaviors. But not only is it sad to restart his clock, but it's not sad that he didn't end up in the ground. You know what I'm saying? That's important to all kind of contextualize. But Paw Patrol, as described to me by Dax Shepard, is going to be a serious problem for sure. Mike Kinza says, I hope he can stay on the wagon. He had 16 years sober. Or something like that. 14 years, 16 years. So it's definitely something that he's very committed to. And I think he'll be back on and stay on the wagon. It sounded like he had a surgery and he was taking opiates and this and that because of the surgery. And it just kind of spiraled in that direction, which I have to admit, next surgery is likely just the Tylenol ibuprofen combination for me. I don't know that I'm going to be doing opiates and stuff like that. I mean, to be brutally honest with you guys, I've got 6.5 years. I'll have to check my counter over here. Let me check my counter. How many days? 2,351 days sober, which is 6.5 years basically. 77 months, however much that is. I don't know. I have to figure it out. But basically 6.5 years is where I'm at right now. And I don't feel like I would want to be, taking opioids and stuff like that after a surgery. I didn't even want to take them in the past. because of, whatnot. But yeah, Dax Shepard was the guy who warned me about Paw Patrol. And if you guys don't know, look up Dax Shepard Paw Patrol video. It's pretty fun. It's like 3 or 4 minute video. It's pretty fun. Let's see. Teletubbies was a bad acid trip. I feel like Teletubbies was a good acid trip. I mean, it was legit. You know what I mean? Like, it was a legit good acid trip. I mean, it was pretty happy, dudes, and it had like a beginning, a middle, a conclusion. That all seems like a good acid trip as far as I'm concerned. A bad acid trip would just be a never-ending cavalcade of bad thoughts and just scary nonsense, you know what I mean? I slipped at like 10 years. Technically, the lightning, I took some opiates under doctor care, but I still feel guilty about it. Didn't restart my clock, though. Yeah, that's not a relapse, dude. It really isn't. I mean, if you're under doctor care, you're following that, that it's just part of being a human. I just currently am feeling a certain way, but I'm not, like, getting a surgery anytime soon, so we'll see how that shakes out when I actually do have my next surgery, whenever the hell that is. Who knows when that's going to be. Nothing beats a good hour of cross-country from Rookie Aquatics. Oh, like doing some sprints, some workouts, some stuff. My workout regimen has been going quite well. I've still been hitting it, even though I haven't. I've been under the weather with the cold and stuff. I've just been going full on low impact, just like, hey, let me get my time in, not go bonkers. Save that body energy, but get my heart rate going and that kind of stuff. Just been doing that. It's going pretty well, dude. I think I'm 80 days in. I think I'm 80 days in with the 90 for 90. So I'm just trying to hit every day for 90 days. And then just kind of evaluate, see where I'm at, and maybe I'll do another 90 days. It feels like I will. Because I'm the kind of person that when I start a streak going, I just don't want to ever break the streak. You know what I mean? Cal Ripken style. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be here if I didn't take my pain meds. I mean, that's probability. I mean, everybody's situation is different. Big D Smoke. You guys know Dennis has had career-ending surgery and whatnot. So, he is on a fair bit of pain medication to mitigate that just extreme discomfort and everything and pain that he's in. So, my hat's off to you, Dennis, dude. I don't know what I would be doing. I don't know what I would be doing trying to take care of myself that way. You know what I mean? So, let's see. Chris John, no problem at Mismatch Socks. My daughter loves Paw Patrol. We have a bunch of their toys and 4 animals named after the characters. Yeah, apparently Paw Patrol just gets a little wild. A Fishy Mindset coming in October 26th, 2018. Ooh, congratulations. That's dope. Hope you make it the next week, because it's going to be 2 years, man. Next Monday. Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't get ahead of yourself. So one day at a time. So today is today. Just count today. Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't worry about next week. Don't worry about any of that. But next week I'd like to get a check-in Fishy Mindset. I mean, I'll see you on Friday, but let's see what's going on there. I noticed a lot of people did not wonder too much about Quarantine Tank. I think our community around here is just too deep into the aquarium hobby. I don't think anybody even really wondered what was going on with Quarantine Tank nonsense. So let's move on with, we're at the 1 hour mark. We're halfway through. So let's do our quick commercial thing. Hey, Patreon. You ever been to Patreon? That's one of the biggest ways that we actually keep the show going is the people on Patreon generously sponsoring the show. And then the other people are the members on YouTube generously sponsoring the show. That's a commercial. We're done. Moving on. Let's see. Family fish news, that kind of stuff. Everything pretty smooth. Olivia has started speaking a hell of a lot more. She's talking constantly all the time now. So that's great. We're going to just be having a talking human now all the time. Her 2-year birthday is coming up in a couple of weeks. Maybe 3 weeks, something like that. I mean, people that really pay attention know when her birthday is. Oh, God, it's legit 3 weeks from now. Yeah. Although, luckily, when somebody's 2, I will say birthday shopping for 2-year-olds is like the easiest. It's like the easiest thing. John McKenzie's wondering if I bought any of those tanks that I posted. Okay. Those of you that don't know, the community tab is, let me see here. Let me go to YouTube Studio, then I can get to my community tab. The community tab is where I can kind of post sort of Facebook-y type posts, I think, is kind of what they're most like. We got a bunch of comments here that I may or may not have to answer. Clint McLaughlin, who, by the way, is a new member today, said Petco has them for way cheaper. 30-gallon was like $130, which I'm actually going to check in on that. If Petco can get them much cheaper than Amazon, I'm in it. I'm all over it. Like if they'll do that for cheaper, then I'm gonna buy them from Petco. Like, who cares? I mean, Amazon is a big corporation, and so is Petco. It's not like I'm cutting out the little guy or something like that. So either way, if Petco has them cheaper, I'm definitely gonna check that out. But a bunch of people have had no problems with them. But the point I wanted to make was, does anyone have any experience with these tanks? I'm considering getting a few of them for a test rack. This is the 60P model, which is a Landon tank. I was looking at some... I was looking at the Waterbox version and the Lifeguard Aquatics ones. The Lifeguard Aquatics one, I couldn't find like a standard shipper. And Waterbox sponsors a whole lot of channels out there. So I feel like if I was going to go Waterbox, I would want them to supply them. And I don't know if Waterbox has... Do they have an Amazon page? I feel like if Waterbox is going to sponsor AquaPros, AquaPros Mike, then like, why not sponsor your boy over here? And I remember talking with one of the reps from there, and they were like, "Oh yeah," and then they were like, "Oh no, never mind." Waterbox aquariums. Let's see what they have. Let's see what they have on the internet here. Lifeguard Aquatics Crystal Aquarium. Now I did look at this one, but it's an all-in-one, so it has that like background area to it, and it's only 10 gallons, and I feel like I don't want an all-in-one, because I feel like an all-in-one just leaves way too many variables to use them as a test tank. Although I do kind of like the idea of an all-in-one. I've never been happy with how well they work or not in regular day-to-day interactions. Although SC Aquariums has an all-in-one glass aquarium that looks to be a little bit better. It's 24-gallon, which I think is kind of definitely more usable as far as my considerations go. But the all-in-one thing isn't going to work great for the test that I'm trying to do. And one of the main reasons for that is there's just a lot of variabilities in the filtration set, and not necessarily having the filtration set work exactly the same, so that you can actually just set everything to be the same as like 4 different tanks. You know what I mean? So, we'll see how it goes. And I haven't ordered them yet personally. It's just kind of a thought process that I'm kind of working through, whether or not I'm going to actually buy the Landon tanks or a different brand or whatnot. And we'll see what happens. I got to build a rack for it and do this and that and the other thing. So it will be a little bit before that. And I'm also waiting back to hear from some light companies on whether or not they'll sponsor lights to actually run the tests. Because that's the main test that I'm really interested in doing these days. It's not so much CO2. It's not so much fertilizers. It's not so much strictly filtration or any of that kind of stuff. But it's more along the lines of light and just give a real base interaction with which lights seem to operate the best. And I can get the Finex lights. I can get the Fluval lights. I can get what's the other brand? There's another brand, but I'm basically waiting to see if some of the high-end lights will sponsor one. Because I, to be honest with you guys, the budget for the channel went way down when the coronavirus happened. We lost a lot of members. We lost a lot of Patreon people. We lost over 100 Patreon people since the beginning of the year. We're at 216 now. We were at like 348 or something like that at the beginning of the year. And they just were dropping. So we've gone through a lot of changes here as far as like funding the channel, what's happening and that kind of stuff. And I honestly feel like buying a $500 or $600 light seems like a big stretch of the budget at this point, because that's like at least a month of the budget for things that I can actually test. And in reality sense, I'm almost like, well, I'd rather test some substrates, because I could get 3 or 4 tanks for $600 with a bag of substrate for each one. Test those out and see where that goes, So I don't know. Maybe my thought process is screwed up, and you guys can tell me whether I'm right or not. Pipex says, does anyone know why Kessel lights are so expensive? They're just a really high quality LED. Insanely high quality LED lights and stuff like that just are expensive to manufacture. Quality control is a big issue. So like maybe they manufacture 100 diodes and only 2 of them are good enough, and the rest have to get recycled. There's a lot that goes into it, although I have talked to the Kessel guys on numerous occasions, and they feel like they make an insanely high product with a lot of research and development, and there is a lot of, they're not motivated to bring their prices down. They just want to have the best quality product, period. And if people have to pay for it, they're like, okay, they're fine with that, which is all good, man. If that's your business, then that's your business. You know what I mean? If that's your business model and it's working for you, it's working for you. But I will say Radeon lights are more expensive than Kessel. Let's see. Question for you. Do you think it's bad to use a plant fertilizer with nitrates and phosphates in a moderately stocked tank fish-wise? Do you mean just like a plant fertilizer from your garden? If it's like a plant fertilizer from your garden, yeah. If it's a regular fish tank plant fertilizer like Easy Green, no. If it's a fish formulated fertilizer that doesn't have all the extra crap in it that would be in terrestrial plant fertilizer, then it's not a big issue at all. Nitrates and phosphates in a moderately stocked tank. Maybe the issue is that you're worried about phosphates, but if you're using an all-in-one comprehensive fertilizer, whether it be whether it be Seachem or Aquarium Co-op or Thrive. Like, there's 3 brands right there that nothing should be really that far out of whack. Do your water changes, test your tank, see what's going on, and adjust accordingly. Cameos Creation says, what type of lighting does moss require, grown, immersed, and submersed? Sorry, I keep coughing. This cough cold thing is just kicking me. Emergent moss up in the air you're gonna want to actually have diffused light. Underwater, a lot of the light actually is already going to be diffused by the time it gets to any reasonable depth in the aquarium, so about 14 inches plus. The light's definitely going to be starting to get filtered at that point, but you don't want moss to be in direct light because it grows algae. So if it's underwater and you have too much light on it, it's going to grow algae. If it's above water and you have too much light on it, you're going to scorch it. So you're going to end up with all these little dried out desert-looking tips. You know what I'm saying? So like the Saharan desert color of that light brown, whatever, and it's going to be just a scorched plant. It's going to dry out. So the easy answer to that is go look at some moss in the wild. It's all growing down here under stuff. You know what I mean? It's not growing up in the bright light. It's not growing up in the canopy of some trees. It's growing down by the feetsies. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, emulate that. This is going to be the best thing. Mikey Fishy says, I think the 3.0 is amazing for the price point. I agree with you. I agree 100%. A lot of people think that the Fluval 3.0 is like a Lamborghini, and no, a Radeon is a Lamborghini. A Kessel is I guess maybe a Radeon's like a Maybach. How do you say that? Maybach. And the Kessel is like a Lamborghini. And what's the other car? What's the other car? High performance car. Lamborghini. Ferrari. So let's say Ferrari. So Kessel's a Ferrari. Radion's a Maybach. And something else is a Ferrari, whatever. But I honestly think that the Fluval 3.0 is basically just like a nice Toyota or a nice maybe a Lexus, which is also made by Toyota, by the way. It's mostly Toyota parts, just a fancier shell on it. And so it's like a high-end Toyota or a Lexus or whatever. It's right in that range. So it's a little more expensive, but it's affordable. It's going to last a long time, and it has all the heated seats and the air conditioning and all that stuff that you want. Streetwise says Fluval is an STI. That's a good idea. That's a good one. It's so close to STD, though. You know, you might end up thinking that you're going to get herpes or something, and that could be a problem. Herpes is a virus that you have for the rest of your life. We have no cure for it. Sort of like the coronavirus. Welcome to viruses being difficult. Let's see. Question for me. All right, I already got that one. Let me scroll back up. Somebody asked, did I get what my who was it? John? I think John asked, did I get my asking price on the selling the camera? Yes, I did. I actually posted what I consider to be a really, really reasonable price. Basically, there is a company, if you happen to have a used camera that you wanted to sell, there's a place called KEH.com, and I'm going to type it out so it doesn't accidentally post some kind of weird link or whatever. I have no association with this company. I don't know anything other than that they're reputable. They have a good, solid reputation in the professional community. Yeah, community, I guess. Maybe we could call them a community. It's a bunch of loosely affiliated photographers and videographers, right? So cinematographers, videographers, those kinds of photographers. Lots of photographers. Captain Weird says duckweed is the herpes of the aquarium. No, duckweed is like the scabies of the aquarium. There's a cure for it. There's a cure for it. Let's see. Elobiopsidae. No, there's a cure for that. No. What is there no cure? What is there something that there's no cure for? Let me see. I'm gonna look it up. No cure aquarium diseases. Freshwater aquarium disease prevention. There are no known cures for viral infections. Fish that are suspected to have a viral infection should be removed from the aquarium promptly to prevent spreading it to other fish. I know that there are some that are not treatable. Elobiopsidae was that way up until recently, like a year ago, 2 years ago, something like that. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see a you can't cure this. Velvet would be like herpes. There's no Calumnaris. There you go. That's a good one. That's more. Yeah, Calumnaris would be good. Millywell moss is herpes. I find it everywhere. I no longer trim. I rip it out in handfuls of Christmas moss and give it away. Yeah, but that's beneficial herpes. There's no that moss would be beneficial. You know what I mean? Like that would be beneficial. That would be like so that would be my complaint there is that like that's not a virus. That's basically like you have a beneficial thing that you give away to people that they actually want it. You know what I mean? Like people don't show up at your house being like, "Hey, can I get some herpes?" No, they don't do that, but they go, "Hey, you got Christmas moss?" They certainly do that. So, slight, subtle difference, but a difference nonetheless. Here in the U.S., a STI is replacing STD for reasons. Yeah, sexually transmitted infection versus disease. Yep. In the UK, STI is the common phrasing of STD, lol, infection. Yep, that's right, Alex. Good on you. I didn't read that until now. Let's see. Just placed an order from Liquid Creations. What experience have you had purchasing from them? Liquid Creations is... let me check. I want to make sure I don't want to accidentally speak out of turn here. Like Creations. I think I want to double check. Yes, okay. I'm sorry. I had to double check before I was like, yeah. But yeah. Liquid Creations is my stop for tank raised rare plants that I'm looking for. Do I have 100% like survival rate or something like that from them? No, but that's not, in my opinion, that's not to do with them. That has to do with the difficulty of the plants that you get in from there. They really let you know that this is rare. They let you know, like, dude, this is a pain in the butt. Be careful. This is your water parameters. Should look like this. They do a good job describing stuff. They do a great job shipping. And most of their stuff is grown in tanks. So they're not just transshippers. You know what I mean? There are a lot of people in the United States that are selling aquarium plants that are strictly transshippers. And that drives me nuts because I don't think that they're doing a service to the hobby or a service to anybody other than their own wallet. They're like, well, how much can I mark up this plant that I don't even have in stock? You'll see that a lot. And the way to kind of decipher that out would be if you go place an order with somebody. So check this out. If you go to somebody's website and they say you have to have your orders in by Wednesday at noon for next week's delivery, right? So what that is is that they take your order, then they forward that order. Then you forward that order, right, to a wholesaler elsewhere, or the farms, right? Then the farms will ship those plants to them, basically like a 2-day shipping or something. They'll get them on like Friday. Maybe they'll get them on Saturday. Maybe they get them next Monday, right? They open up the box that they get from those guys. They take those plants out of the box. They put them in another box and ship them to you with like stickers and crap. You know, like, oh, I put some stickers in there, so I must be real good at whatever I'm doing. There are a lot of people in the plant. There are a lot of people in the plant game that do this, and the main reason that this happens a lot is because a lot of landscaping companies and stuff like that figured this out a long time ago. They don't want to hold on to a bunch of inventory. It's the same reason that your grocery store ran out of toilet paper when there was a pandemic. When the pandemic started, everyone ran out of toilet paper because everyone said, oh, you're going to be locked up in your house. You're going to be taking 1 million craps a day or something, so go out and buy all of the toilet paper. When it was like, you could still go to the grocery store. Anyhow, it's that same theory, okay? That you don't want to have all this stock that you have to hold on to, and a lot of companies do that now. That's the easy way to sniff that out if that's what a company it is that you're ordering from. They just basically order the plant. You keep waiting for them to ship it. They don't ship it till next week on Monday or Tuesday, right? That's because they don't have the plant there to ship to you on Thursday. And most of them will say, oh, it's because we don't like to ship over the weekend because, you know, it could be like a longer delivery because of the weekend. And it's like, what? It's plants, dude. Like, just stick them in the box and send them out. Like, why not do it tomorrow? You know? Which is one of those things that, like, you notice that if you place an order with Aquarium Co-op, it gets filled pretty quickly because the goal is to fill your orders quickly and properly and send them out the door. Because they have, and it's difficult to say that I work there because it would be kind of a mischaracterization of what I do. Like, I don't work with the shipping. I don't do any of that stuff. I'm basically their construction repairman, all that kind of stuff. I do a bunch of contractor work for them. So I just like fix the lights. I build tables. I build aquarium stands, plumbing, electrical. You know what I mean? I just do all that stuff. But that is the goal there, is to get that stuff in a box and get it out to you as fast as possible because that's what they're trying to do. And they already have the stuff there on hand, which I think is a big difference from a lot of the transshipper types places. Now, Liquid Creations, they're the same way. They have a bunch of the stuff on hand. They're growing it in their tanks, and it's available while they have some of it to sell. And then, like, if they don't have any to sell, they update their website of, like, that's sold out right now. Whereas a lot of, you know, like, if you go to a website of somebody and they have, like, 9,000 plants on there and they're all in stock somehow, you know, it's like, well, why are these all in stock? And then you, like, get a notification later that, like, oh, sorry, we're out of stock on that plant. It's because they don't know that the farms have run out of it. But I really like Liquid Creations. It's a dude that's pretty cool with the hobby. I mean, I don't see his name on the I don't see his name on the website. So I'm not really going to say who it is, but very good with the hobby. You know, he's a guy that's very involved in the hobby and whatnot. Oh, I guess if you look in the comments, like he's replying to comments on here. So it's Thomas Bartlett is the guy. Very cool dude, very nice guy, down to earth, growing plants, selling plants. He's not trying to scam anybody. He's just trying to pass on cool plants and get them into the hobby. So definitely cool dude. Definitely recommend it. I've always had a good time. I used to really like Han Aquatics. He quit though. Oh, did Han quit? I didn't know that. I haven't seen anything from him in a while. I thought he was selling with Jenny. I mean, his website's still up. Han Aquatics is still... The website's still operating. So, I don't know. Maybe he quit. I don't know. I guess I could shoot him a message and see what's happening. But, I don't know. Maybe it's an opportunity to get some of the discounted blowout stuff. Maybe help him out that way. Yeah, I don't know. Talked to him last week about plants. COVID took out all his rare in-house plants sales-wise. Oh, that's weird. Everybody's COVID sales have gone up as far as aquarium stuff has been going on. How people staying home, dude. But 3 new members today. That's pretty baller. We're kind of run up on the end of the show here just because I'm going to start coughing a lot, and I got sneezes coming. But, yeah. Definitely want to give a shout-out to our 3 new members today because that put us back up to 102, which is taking us right off the brink of that's going to take us right off the brink of giving away the show and me not being on it anymore. I mean, that means I'm going to be here for a while still, so I appreciate it. Maybe you guys appreciate it. I don't know. Let's see. Paulette, Pipex, and Clint McLaughlin. Yes, all of our new members there. Yeah, but Co-op doesn't really grow their own. They help acclimate and submerge a bunch of fan plants, which is nice, but Co-op doesn't grow stuff from soil, do they? No, but the reality is Aquarium Co-op brings in the plants, converts them as much as possible, and has them in stock. But my whole point is like, I'm not saying that Aquarium Co-op grows all of their plants from soil. My point is, there's a lot of transshippers out there that claim they're somebody that are carrying stock and whatnot, and they aren't. Which is like, well, why order from somebody who's doing that? Somebody who's just legitimately opening boxes, sticking them into another box, and sending them to you. It's like, why is that suddenly taking a plant that you order for 85 cents and then reselling it to me for $8.99, right? Why is that an $8 markup? Right? That because once you start to put it in terms like that, like if you're a transshipper and you order a $1 plant because you have a wholesaler's license, which by the way is super easy to get and there's nothing really fancy about it. You get your wholesaler's license, you order these $1 plants, and then you mark them up to $11.99, right? And then it's on sale for $9.99. So you marked it up from $1 to $10. Is this a $9? Is this worthy of a $9 surcharge? And if I order 10 plants from you, is it a $90 deal now? I don't know. That's really kind of the question that I have, you know. Jay's Crazy Obsession. Hey, guys, my electric blue Akara, of which I've had since he was 2 weeks old, probably 3 years oldish now, is developing a nuchal hump, and it's kind of ugly. Is there a way I can prevent this? I don't have an answer for that. I've never had to try and remove anything like that from a plant. I've just let them, or from a fish. I've just let them be healthy as possible, feed them as well as they can. Drew Overly, what resources do you recommend for just getting started with aquarium plants? Step 1 would be buy a tank, buy some good substrate, buy a decent light, put the substrate in the tank, put the water in the tank, put the light over the tank. Don't turn the light on really yet, but let it just cycle, you know? Figure out the cycling process. Order this this book right here, and I'll get you a link. Copy. Order this book right here, and then start reading this book with your readers. Take notes. Figure out what the heck is going on. This will give you a good jump off point. If I could hit the paste button, that would be helpful. There we go. There's the link right there. That book, a tank, some substrate, likely a filter. I would always recommend my favorite filter of all time that is actually quite affordable, which we actually talked about earlier in the show here, which is this filter right here. Feel free to watch videos and learn stuff. Like Dennis Wong would be a good spot. A good spot to kind of look at maybe some solid, just kind of walk through videos that are pretty good. But read the book. Read that book, and then read some of the recommended books. I highly recommend people start to read some books. It's not like a new thing, but read books and start to look through what the research has for the questions that you have and the knowledge of learning how to correlate between organisms, bacteria, what's going on, how even look through the bibliography right here. So in the bibliography, we have a reference here, number 16, which is Granelli, Lindell, and Tranvik. Photo, oxidative production of dissolved inorganic carbon in lakes different humic content. Liminal Oxyar, page 41 of 706 pages. So when you start going through a book like this, you can start looking through some of the references as to where this comes from. You can start to look at some of the relationship of the plants and the light and all that kind of stuff. This is the best book to start out with, okay? And start reading some books and do some actual research, because watching YouTube videos is rad. I love watching YouTube videos. I love watching informative YouTube videos 100%, just like everybody else. But reading is going to be the important part of the research, so that you're able to have reference from what it is that you're trying to do, how you're getting from point A to point B, and how to connect all the dots together. If you're a slow reader, that's fine. If you're a fast reader, that's fine. You're going to have to read some books, man. You're going to have to do some real research. You're going to have to actually read about some science. And it's unfortunate for some people out there that just don't seem to enjoy it or want to be a part of it or have anything to do with it, the science. But it really is just very important. It's very important to get a solid foundation to work on what it is that you want to do. The Aquarium Plants by Crystal Castleman is also incredible. Yep. Check this out. I think I found a clip earlier. Let me see. I think it's. This may take a second. Where was it? Vivarium. I think it's here. I wonder if I say anything bad in this video. I think this is it right here. Oh wow, Crystal Castleman.
Oh, nice.
That's the book right there. That's the whole life right here. I found that the other day. Crystal did not want to be videoed, so I have this short clip. I have a short clip of hanging out with Chris and Crystal, and that was it right there. And I found it the other day, and I was like, oh, let me slap that in my queue to put into something. But obviously it has sound in it, so I probably just got copyright claimed by the Netherlands or something. Who knows? Like the Netherlands would be like, dude, you can't play our sound from the Netherlands, right? So yeah, definitely a good book, but it's definitely going to be really confusing to people that are just starting out. Whereas Diana Wallsted's book will probably be confusing for a little bit also, but you'll be able to wrap it out. All right, guys. All right, cold starting to kick in, so I'm starting to get to that point where yeah. All right, thanks for our new members today, 100%. Thank you very mucho. Take you out with some sounds of the music.